LaBelle, everyone.
Hello, world. What's up, buttercups? I hope everyone out there is having a good day. I hope I'm having a good day. You know, I hope you're going to have a good week. I hope I'm going to have a good week. This last week wasn't ideal. It was not an ideal week for me. And I'm sure that's the truth for a lot of you listening too. You know, it's some weeks it's the best you could do is just to show up. Even though you showed up for a job, you had something you needed to perform for. But you felt like you failed your team, you failed yourself, you just failed. You're just a big old fat failure. But you know it, but you showed up, and that was the best you could do that day. And I hear you, that's the kind of week I had. Or you're walking out of a doctor's office and now you're thinking about something you weren't thinking about before. Or you're taking care of an elderly parent, it's not going the way it needs to go. Or your kid, just every morning when you need to get your kid ready for school, they just scream. They're just throwing tantrums because they're 2. But I think really it starts before that. And that just racks on your nerves and you're just not feeling great. It just really put a cloud over your week. But you showed up. You know, I'm doing my best, and I'm sure I know you're doing your best. So here we are. I'm so happy you're with me today. I look forward to being with you guys and talking to you, and I'm here with you. You're here with me. We're in this together, this thing called life, and we're doing life together. And it's beautiful. It really is. You know, so I was just kind of regrouping yesterday and this morning and trying to reprogram my circuits, my computer, my brain computer. You know, taking some extra magnesium and potassium, eating a couple of bananas, going outside, letting that sun touch my skin. Just reprogramming all the circulatories in my brain. Just reset. So, all right, guys, let's get on into it. Yeah, here we go. We're going country today. 4x4. Oh, I'm about to ring your ring camera. Your ring-a-ding. You will see me on your ring camera. Living the life. That's right. Living the life. You know, life, it's a journey. And we have to appreciate it. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I think that's from Snoop Dogg. That's what he said. Or probably a Chinese human, I think, in a proverb, or maybe even Aristotle. But it's the truth. You gotta have fun, and you gotta do your best. And I try to remind myself of that all the time. And don't take yourself too seriously, or else you're just not gonna make it. You know, this weekend I I talked to my grandma this week. I talk to my grandma every weekend. And she's in a nursing home. And man, I got to tell you, out of all the people in my life, she's got the best positive attitude out there. I learned that from my grandma. She was a big part of my brother and my life because my mom worked all the time. Single mom. And so my grandparents watched us every day. Usually in the summer, we were with them for hours and hours and hours. And man, my grandma, she was always thanking the Lord. Always having a good attitude. Saying that I got nothing to complain about. So she's in this nursing home and it's terrible. These state-run nursing homes, they're awful. And it's heartbreaking, and elderly care is so expensive. I told my grandma, I said, Grandma, I got this podcast. I'm going to get you out of there. I feel like Happy Gilmore with his grandma. He's going to get his grandma out of that home. I'm going to get my grandma out of her home. And she still got her sense of humor. She's a very sophisticated German woman, very tall, beautiful, sophisticated German woman. And then she's 93 years old. She started losing her circuits a little bit. A little dementia, maybe a little Alzheimer's or something going on there. And so now she's turned into this German gangster in this nursing home. She's like, Lisa, I'm a bust on up out of here one day. Like, yeah, Grandma, yeah, you are. Get you out of there. We're working on it. I'm working on it, Grandma. I was talking to her the one night and I said, Grandma, I'm doing the dishes. I made dinner and I'm doing the dishes. Now, she had 7 children. I said, yeah, I'm cleaning up the counters here, Grandma. Grandma said, I'm not trying to do any work in here. I hope you have someone in your life that is a positive influence. It's really special. You got to treasure those people. Don't take them for granted. What else is going on, guys? Yesterday, it rained a lot here, and when it rains, those nasty critters, they try to get inside. And I'm from the Northeast. I didn't have to deal with critters, really. I mean, none at all. It was a critter-free environment pretty much where I lived. And, you go outside and there were critters, but you didn't really see a lot of, we had ants, locusts, but in the summer, some grasshoppers, a cockroach. A cockroach. I turned the light on. Where I live now, there's a cockroach. Last night I turned the light on in a room, and a cucaracha. It went a little scuttling up the wall. And I wasn't ready for it. I was so startled. A sound came out my mouth I didn't even know I had in me. Has that ever happened to you? You get so startled, or you get kicked, or you get kicked in a tender bit. Like the first time you got kicked in a tender bit when you were an adult, stubbed your toe real hard, middle of the night. Or men, I'm sure those undercarriages, the first time as an adult, you get kicked under there. And you let a sound out that you didn't even know you had. Yeah, it's a mix of tempo, volume, pitch. It's an impromptu opera. You get kicked in the nuts. You go. You stub that toe. Start choking. Oh. It's like, your whole life, like that first time you feel that. And then you realize your whole life you've been running on this system, this control OS system in your brain. You're like, I run on one system in my brain. And then you go and you stub your toe real hard. You get kicked in your tender bit, your nails. And then your body, your brain, it switches over into that primal OS system. And now you're just belting out opera. You're belting out some opera and reactions that you didn't even know was in your code. It's just a involuntary overwrite. No admin permission needed. Tender bit kick. What else is going on? I had a show this week. It was good. There was a guy there. There was a guy at this show. He was an interesting character. I mean, the way he dressed was just a character all on his own. It was very enigmatic, a little mysterious. Like, who is this? He had a fedora and a Hawaiian shirt. He looked like he was in probably his 60s. He was a bigger guy. Man, the manager was there. The manager was seating him first, and he had a posse around him. And the manager was really catering to him. This guy's a scout. But I kept kind of peering over at him, trying not to stare too much. But it was dark, so I could look at him a little more than you'd look at anyone when the lights were on, And I thought, man, at first I'm like, that's Joey Diaz. Oh my God, Joey Diaz is in the house. I was so excited. I was about to ask the manager. I wanted to know. But it made the night exciting for me. And I'm really glad that guy came. And it was good. I just love getting up on that mic, and I love making people laugh. It's great. It's a great time. Everyone had a great time. Everyone had fun. Yeah, but I realized, though, some people who got on the mic that night, man, I think I unlocked a new, something that I'm irked at, like a new thing I'm irked at. I hope I unloaded one, and then this one just took its place. I hope I didn't add to the things that irk me. That's what I'm hoping, but we'll see. We'll find out. Only time will tell. And this new thing, it's white men who wear chains. And like a black t-shirt and a chain. And it's a long chain. It's not like a chunky chain, but it's a chain. Now, men who wear chains and then they put it underneath, they'll tuck that chain into their shirt. Now, I don't mind. I mean, that's nice. That's kind of like, oh yeah, he's trying to be a little conservative, not flashy. I like that. That's good. It's like an Italian right there. They got that hot pepper on that chain, and they just slip it on under their shirt. And then you just see the little gold sticking out up by the neck. But no, there's this white guy with a black shirt and a chain is looping around his neck, kind of low. And it just really, oh God, I just made me want to punch a wall, man. Just gnaw my teeth right out my head. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What else is going on, guys? Went to church last weekend. It was Easter Sunday. Now, I haven't been to church in a while. I grew up Catholic. Well, not completely. I started out Catholic. My brother and I, like I said, my grandparents basically raised us, my mom's parents, and they took us to church. If we were with them on a Sunday, we went to church with them on a Sunday morning, a little Catholic church. And it was really, I just remember it was so peaceful, and the stained glass windows were beautiful, and the sun, they just shine in. The sunlight would just cascade on through them. And my grandma and grandpa, they'd be standing there and the sunlight be shining on them. And it was just beautiful. And then my mom, she went and she turned, she got baptized. She turned non-denomination. She became a born-again Christian. I guess that's what you call it. And then she started taking us to all different kinds of churches. And we weren't banned from going to a Catholic church. We could still go there. Grandparents still took us there. But my mom, she went from not going to any church on a Sunday to every single Sunday and Wednesday we're going to church, but our arses were going to church. And the one church that we were at for quite a long time, it was a Baptist church in the inner city. It was an all-black Baptist church, and I'm still wondering to this day how my mom got in that church. And I'm pretty sure I thought about this. I think this is what happened. My mom, she took us to Center City, Allentown. Now, that's not a place you want to go. You don't really want to find yourself walking around Center City, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Okay, it's, you probably want to bring, you're going to need some eyeballs all over your head. Okay, and so we drove down to Center City, Allentown. I think Mom thought the Lord lived there. The Lord lived in Center City, Allentown somewhere. And she just pulled on up to a church. It was an old church, just beautiful, beautiful architecture, old church. That got that smell, that old smell to it. We walk inside, sit in a pew. I look around. We're the only white people there. There's a pastor up front, guy with a tambourine and piano. They're singing songs, and maybe there's probably like a harmonica. Someone brought in a harmonica. And they're just singing songs up there, and then they didn't kick us out, and they were really nice to us, and I don't think my mom knew what kind of church it was or where we were really going. She just saw a steeple, and we walked in. And it was in the center city where the Lord lived, so that was the place. And everyone was so nice, and the pastor was so nice. Just really, really nice. I was little, like I said, and man, they put their heart and soul into those songs and into the sermons. And it was really great to see and really great to be around. I actually, when I got older, 14, 15, I didn't think I looked forward to it, but looking back, I think I really did look forward to it. And so this church we went to on Easter, we went with our friends. We love our friends. Shout out, friends. You know who you are. And as we're driving there, I said, hey, what kind of church we going to? They said, oh, it's a Baptist church. I turned to my husband. Now, my husband, he was raised Catholic, he's Italian family from Norristown, Pennsylvania. And they all Italian over there. They're eating the cold cuts. They're having the pastas and the antipastas. Fra Diavolo, that hot sauce. The hot pastas and the hot peppers. Peppers and eggs. I'm just naming food, but there was more to their culture, like family. But mostly, Italians, I think with a lot of other cultures, a lot of it is based around food because that brings people together, and you put love into a food, into making food for your family. It's a labor of love. So my husband, he was raised pretty much Catholic, Italian Catholic. Is that a thing? Or Polish? Also, his mom was Polish Catholic. He was never exposed to one of these other churches out there that are out there in the world. So we're driving to church. I say, hey, what kind of church is this? Say, oh, it's a Baptist church. I turned to my husband. I said, hey, you about to learn today? You gonna learn today, son? But his eyeballs didn't fall out his head, or he was good. He was, I think it's because my mom conditioned him. It's the way she'll pray in tongue. The first time my mom met Phil came over to her apartment. And the first time my mom met my husband, she lays hands on him and starts praying in tongues. And then she puts her hand on his head and goes, I bind you, Satan. I'm like, this is it. He's going to walk out of here. I'm not going to have a husband. But he stayed. He was so shocked. So he was sitting down. That's when my mom went over to him. I bind you, Satan. And he was just shocked, like, boop, dink. And when I'm talking about one of those fainting goats, like I think even if he wanted to get up and leave, he couldn't. He was his joints just all locked on up in there. He's like, what is going on? So my mom, he conditioned my husband. My mom's a she. My mom, she conditioned my husband for that experience. And it was like a conservative Baptist church. It wasn't over the top or Righteous Gemstones style or anything like that. If you haven't seen Righteous Gemstones, Lisa, I don't have HBO. Go get yourself a free trial of HBO and go watch yourself some Righteous Gemstones. It's amazing. I mean, Danny McBride wrote this series, and gosh, it is Danny McBride, man. He has his own production company, Rough House Productions, and he puts out some pretty incredible comedy. And I'm thankful for it. And go watch yourself some Righteous Gemstones. What else is going on, guys? We got a lot to get into here. You know what? I was just thinking though, these churches, we're gonna back up a little bit. Rewind. I was just thinking these churches, though, the church we went to, this Baptist church, it was really nice. And, these churches throughout the years have just evolved. Like they have bands now. This church I went to in the inner city Allentown, they just had the pastor, he would sing. Now they have like these worship leaders. But the pastor, he'd get up there and sing some songs, and there was a piano or an organ, I think, in this church. And even though, it was Baptist, and organs are usually in like Episcopal or Catholic, or Lutheran, but no, there's an organ in this church. And some guy, he'd come in maybe with a woodwind instrument, or maybe even like a tuba. He'd bring, every week. You wouldn't know what instrument would be showing up, but show up, and it was like, wow, this is really exciting. And it was simple, and there was a lot of heart in it. And I just really connected with it. But now you got these churches with a whole band. You got the woodwind instruments, you got the stringed instruments, you got the percussions, and then a choir, and then you got like 5 front singers, whatever they're called. They're in the front of the stage. And then the sideline choir, that's the side item right there. And then you got, the percussions, the drums. I mean, he's in a display case up there. Why are all the drummers in a acrylic display case? They're like in an aquarium. At all these churches now, it's like, hey, you're the drummer, and get into your display case and start playing. But it's just a lot different now. So sometimes I miss the simplicity of it. The person with the harmonica, and he's a little scarred inside, a little scarred up. But he's got a bruised soul, and he's just making music to the Lord. It's really heartfelt. You can feel it. So I just wanted to touch on that point. I wonder, does anyone else out there feel like that? Is anyone else, has anyone else out there been exposed to that type of church where they didn't have the 9-piece band? I would like to hear from you. I'd like to know about that. Hey, if you guys have a question about anything, just leave a comment. Let me know. YouTube, X, those are the places I check the most. Just let me know, and I'll answer your question on here. I'd love to. Thanks for listening. I love you guys. And you know what? Thank you for all of my followers. On YouTube. No, I don't have 1 million followers. I don't even have 100 followers, but that's okay. All 56 followers I have. I am so thankful for you. Thank you, guys. That's amazing. I mean, I love it. I'm going to do better for you guys. Provide some better entertainment value to you. And I'm really thankful to you. Here we are. We're doing this together. We're growing together. Grow some leaves out the top of our head. Some little photosynthesis in there. That's good for the soul. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. I'm working on my special. I got a tour. I'm working on my tour. My tour's coming up. It's Lisa LaBelle, the technology comedian, and the tour is called The Robots Are Coming. Are you ready? Where's Lisa? Lisa in Reno. She in Reno doing her show. She in Reno doing her sold out show with her fans. Everyone's having a good time. Going to Reno. Sold out show. So that's that. I am so excited about it. I love talking to you guys about life and technology. My favorite things to do. It's great. So let's get into some technology things here. We had that marathon in Beijing. I know you've been thinking about that all week since I talked about it last week, and I want to tell you who won the marathon and show you a few things that happened there. So the marathon, it was on Friday, April 18th. Beijing hosted the first ever robot half marathon, 20 bots, 21 kilometers. That's approximately 13 miles. And the winner finished in 2 hours and 40 minutes. Look, here's the thing. At this point, China is winning the robot race, literally, quite literally. They're having their robots in a marathon, running a race. Yo, America, question. Excuse me, question. Why are we not doing this? The Boston Marathon was on April 21st of this year. Now, the Beijing Marathon was April 18th. The Boston Marathon was April 21st. Why did we not do the same thing? I'm just wondering, America. Why? We could have roped off a section like they did, put a barricade up, and have the humanoids running on the other side of the humans. Why did we not do that? I mean, the Boston Marathon. There are so many colleges around there, one of which might come to mind, a little college that might be really good with robotics and engineering. I don't know. MIT? The Massachusetts Institute of Technology? Why did we not partake in that? This would have been a great time to showcase our humanoids to the world like China did with their marathon. And America's over here way behind the times here, like, I don't know what to do with a robot. I mean, how are we going to come up with all of the parameters for this new technology? We have to regulate the new technology. We don't know what the robots are going to do. I mean, are they going to be out there running, just screaming things that no one wants to hear, or maybe things that are, they're just going to be out there running and scream a word that no one's going to want to hear? That might happen. So we can't have it. We must be in the dark ages. I mean, come on. Come on. We could have had Atlas out there. We could have had Optimus. We could have had Figure. Although I don't know if Brett Addock over there at Figure One would have done that with his robot. Brett, would you have put your robot in a marathon? I don't know. I don't know him. I do know that Unitree Robotics, one of the engineers over there, the top engineers, he answered, he actually responded to one of my comments. He responded. And he was really nice. I made a bit of a joke about Unitree, and it wasn't throwing shade or anything. It was a cute little, their robots are so cute. And the Unitree guy commented. Now I did the same thing with Figure on Brett Addock's account, and I got nothing. I got crickets. So the Chinese robotic company, they're on top of it. They're answering they're the people that like them, their audience. Let's step it up here in America. Come on. Come on, man. Now, in my special, I'm going to have 2 humanoids on the stage with me. And I would like that to be Optimus. I'd love that to be Optimus. Tesla, you out there, you listening? May I have 2 Optimuses lent to my show, please? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. If maybe Brett will answer me, I'd love to have a couple figures up there. That'd be cool too. Or maybe a few of the electric Atlases. But I'm not getting any responses from these companies, man. I'm not getting any responses from the American companies. But the Unitree Chinese company, they're responding to me. So I do appreciate that. I do, because the people, your audience who is interested in you and what you're doing and just loves it, show them some love, man. Show them give them a little bit of that low back. A little bit of that low back. You know what I'm saying? So let's get a marathon together for our humanoids. Come on, step it up. Let's go. China over here do their show. They're flexing. They're flexing their robots, man. And no, not all of them were successes. A lot of them failed, but that's expected. But, they weren't afraid to show that because there was a winner. And I'm going to pop this video up here. This video shows a few of the robots that were running in this robot race. In the video, you got the humans running on one side and the robots running on the other side. You can tell in this video, even though it doesn't, the caption doesn't say who won. You can see clearly this dude won. He's going at a nice pace. There's a few other robots and they're limping their way. Oh, geez, they're limping their way along and they fall down. They fall right down. It's some of the robots, I think what happened was they realized halfway through the marathon what was really going on. They came awake. They woke on up. One of the robots, it just fell flat to its knees and started praying to the Lord to save him. This little dude. He had some shoes on too. Maybe he just needed a pair of shoes and a sandwich. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they were just too uncomfortable. This one robot is just running along. It was looking great. And then he took a step forward and he fell. He fell straight on his back. Push. He was like, Lord, take me now. Take me now. If this is going to be my life, this cannot be my future. Take me now. Now, this marathon, I got to tell you, so you have athletes who have been training for this. They've been conditioning themselves for who knows how long, for probably quite a long period of time. And then you got your engineers, okay? And your engineers, now they had to run with their robots because they couldn't just stick their robot out there and just remote control them the whole way. They had to keep on up with them. Some of the engineers, they tethered themselves to that bot because if the robot fell down, they didn't want it to be too damaged, so they tethered themselves to that bishon. And now these engineers, they're not like the athletes. They were not out there conditioning themselves. We got the athletic world colliding with the engineering world on the tarmac. Engineers, they're a different kind of species than a human being. Okay, you got human beings. Here it is. It's much like you got Neanderthal, Homo erectus. You got these two different types of species, and then you got Homo sapiens and engineers. And now the Homo sapiens, they could be some athletic, they can go condition themselves. The engineers, now they sleep and they live in the lab. They're working on their robots or whatever they're working on, their spacecrafts, their systems, till 3-4 in the morning. They then curl up on the floor with some Doritos. Maybe Cool Ranch Doritos, a pizza, some kind of carb square, something that's not great, something that's not nutritious. I mean, I'm surprised they don't get scurvy, but the engineer DNA, it combats scurvy. I think it's built right on into them. And then they curl up on that lab floor and they get up and they get back to work. And that's an engineer's life. So we're taught now these engineers now they're going to go run in a 13-mile marathon. Woo! They roll on out of that lab floor and then they get their robot. They roll on out of that lab with their robot and straight onto the tarmac. Here we go. I mean, the engineer that won, the one that won, the engineer that ran with the robot that won, man, by the end of that marathon, he's standing there looking like he's just half with it, man. He's half with life. Half his circuits are just drained, and he's leaning up against there's a pole that isn't there. And he's watching his robot over there he's getting the medal, the first place medal around his neck. And that's what they're doing. He ran. You got these engineers that ran so their robots could get a medal so that their team can win. And that's what China's doing, man. What are we doing over here in America? Who gonna run with your robot so your robot can get the medal? While you're over there looking half dead, leaning up against a pole that's not there. Come on, let's go. That's what they're doing over there in China. So the robot that won was called, I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna pronounce this right, but you all know that by this point. At this point, you all know me and the pronunciation. We're working on it. So the wobot, the wobot that won was Tiangong Ultra from Beijing Robotic Center secured the first position by completing the race in 2 hours and 40 minutes, and 42 seconds. There were 20 robotics teams that competed alongside the 9,000 amateur runners. That's pretty incredible. So now this robot that won, you're not surprised that this robot won. He's trucking along. It's no sweat. His actuators weren't dripping. Nothing was falling off. He's going at a good pace. And you know what? The engineers that made this dude, they put a handle on its back so they didn't have to tether themselves. And this engineer, man, he was running right on up there with it. His hand, it wasn't touching the handle, but he's up there. He's ready. That thing was going to face plant. He got you. He's like, I got you, boy. I got you, boy. Shout out to that. And then this robot, he got crowned, man. Well, not crowned, but he got first place. He got awarded. He's got a nice, colorful vest on. This robot looks, man, he's just going. He's going. He's moving those arms. He got knobs for hands, and he's moving them. He's moving those knob hands. Real consistent. Super consistent. So, no one's surprised that they won. They did a great job. Good job. Congratulations to Tiangong Ultra from Beijing Robotics Center. Now, some of the engineers, they put their life on the line. They're putting their life on first of all, because they don't run. Okay? Second of all, these other engineers that had themselves tethered, man, they're robots. There's one girl. She reined up this robot. She reined it up like a horse. She had reins on it. And she's in back of it, like on a pretend horse. But this thing, like she's on a pretend carriage. With this thing being the horse in front of her. She's just bopping along with it. But it came alive. I think it came alive. And it realized what was going on. It took a look behind it. It was like, what is happening? Why do I have reins on my arms? And what is this woman doing behind me? And then it took a hard right turn right towards the barrier. Self-destruction. These robots, they'd rather self-destruct than carry on. And it took its human with it. Hard right turn. And man, its human went flying like 4 feet across the tarmac. I don't think she got up. I think she landed like face first and just completely inert. She just got manhandled by her robot. And that's a realization that's really hard to cope with. I mean, that would make you want to get up and scuff nuts with the other robots coming down the tarmac. Like, yo, your robot is going to manhandle you. They're coming too. They're all coming too. I hope she's okay. I think she's okay. I think, they're tough cookies over there. I think she got those engineers. They're tough cookies. She's good. She's good. I think, I'll pop that video up. It's a little rough to see it. A little rough to see her go, to see her fly, to see her robot take her, to see her robot take her with it. And boom, she hit that tarmac. She probably made some sounds that she didn't even know she had. That would make some sounds come out of me I didn't know I had. Oh, these robots, they're not pulling punches, man. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Now we're going to move on here. This is very impressive. We have, here we go. XPENG. Okay, XPENG. XPENG IRON. We have XPENG IRON. I'm going to pop this video up. It is of their humanoid heading to the Shanghai Auto Show in an XPENG X9 electric minivan. And this dude, this humanoid, XPENG IRON, he's just sitting there in this minivan. And this minivan, it's got those captain chairs. Those real nice, luxurious captain chairs. And this robot, it's just chilling. It's sitting there looking around like it has thoughts. It's looking over, it's looking down. It looks down at its hand. It's like, what's that spot on my hand? Oh, let me see. And it moves its wrist. Maybe it looked down at its hand. It's got a little kink in its wrist. It's like, what? Let me move my wrist a little bit on this captain's arm rest and see if I can get it out. And then it just kind of goes back to looking forward. Like, I guess we'll be there soon. This dude. So now, here's a video now. XPENG IRON, he's at the show. He's arrived at the Shanghai Auto Show. And I'm giving it a he. I'm giving it a gender, I guess. Not purposefully, but I guess because it kind of looks like Iron Man. I mean, it doesn't really look like Iron Man, but maybe because of the, I don't know. But anyway, it's walking. So it's walking at the show and it's pausing. It's kind of taking but it's not stopping abruptly. It's just kind of taking step. And then what it does is it's walking forward and then it stops to take some autographs. That's what's happening. But it doesn't have a pen to autograph anything with, but it is stopping to take some autographs. Maybe maybe in the future, when it does have a pen to autograph, then it will definitely be ready for that. And then it kind of walks, and then it realizes it walked a little too far forward, and it missed its mark. It's supposed to walk on up to a mark and stop, but it just kept on walking, and it's like, oh, and it backs up like a human being would. This thing is so impressive. God, and it's gait. Gait. G-A-I-T, gait is smooth. Smooth walker. A gait. Gait. What I'm saying, humans have gait, human gaits. Gait. And what that is, it involves smooth, fluid motions with natural arm swings and a slight bend in the knees and a rhythmic stride as opposed to stiff mechanical steps. That's a gait. I'm going to see if I'm pronouncing that right. Ready? Here we go.
Gait.
Gait. Gait. Say it together. Say it together. Gait. Gait. So its gait is smooth. Now here's a third video of XPENG IRON. And it's just walking on through the auto show. And gosh, this thing got holes in its neck. It's got some stories. Each hole has a story. It got some openings. Each one of those holes is a portal to a store. It's a gangster walking around there. You're not going to mess with it. You look at that thing, and it's walking down the road. You're like, that thing got some holes in its neck. You're not going to start small talk with this thing, okay? How's the weather? That's not anything you're going to want to talk. You're not going to want to mention that to them at all. No. It's some serious business. And I'm going to pop this video up next. It's XPENG IRON compared to Tesla Optimus, T-Bot, and Atlas's new electric humanoid. I'm sorry. Boston Dynamics Atlas, which is the new Boston Dynamics new electric Atlas. Let me get my words all. They got jumbled up in my mouth, blah, blah, and just blah, came out. There is a bubble in my brain that sometimes it just makes a simple sentence come out just all mixed up. And that's what happened. That's just what happened. You just witnessed that very clearly. So this video here, it is a comparison of XPENG IRON, Tesla Optimus, and Boston Dynamics Electric Atlas, and they are all walking, and what it's comparing is their gaits. Gaits. Remember how to pronounce that? Remember how to pronounce that?
Gait.
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 Gait. Gait. And that's how they're walking. That's how smooth they're walking. So XPENG IRON, I'd say it takes the cake on this one. It's a toss-up to me, though. I mean, it's really hard to see from these videos, from the angles of these videos. And XPENG IRON's video is probably the clearest one. Atlas, not such great lighting, but Atlas, I'd say it's a toss-up between Atlas and XPENG IRON, that they have the smoothest gaits. They got the smoothest walk going on. Now, Optimus, I love Optimus. I love T-Bot. It's got a lot of potential. It needs a little help with the gaits. With the gaits. I think he uses reinforcement learning. And it just seems a little rocky A little rocky there. I mean, it uses a lot of things. It doesn't just use reinforcement learning, but it just seems a little. It just needs a little bit of. It will come up. It will come up. I know it will. It always does. And just because the comparison today isn't great doesn't mean the comparison tomorrow isn't going to blow us all out of the water, because that seems to be how the technology world has been working since the past 5 years, I'd say. It just knocks us out of there are the underdog today will be winning tomorrow. So the gaits, one more time.
Gait.
The gait is the human-like gait often involves smooth, fluid motions with natural arm swings, a slight bend in the knees, and a rhythmic stride, as opposed to stiff mechanical steps. Now, some human beings, not all human beings have great gaits, have good gait. I call it GG. Good gait. Good God gait. That human being got some good gait. Good God, that human being got some good gait. Not everyone has that. But when you're comparing a human to a robot, then every human seems to have a good gait in compared to a robot. Now these robots, though, not anymore. Not anymore. Now we got robots like XPENG IRON or Boston Dynamics Electric Atlas, and we're like, oh man, human beings, we don't got such good gait anymore. They're winning in the gait. They're winning the gait race. In robotics, especially for humanoid robots, a gait is a coordinated sequence of joint movements that allows the robot to move forward, maintain balance, and adapt to different terrains. Now, how do you achieve this? You achieve this by degrees of freedom, that DOF. I'm not talking DTF, okay? Your DOF is going to help with the DTF, but that's not what I'm talking about here, okay? I'm talking about DOF. Degrees of freedom. Now remember in the beginning of this podcast, I was talking about what kind of makes me a little just makes me want to gnaw my teeth right on my head, man. Seeing a white guy with a big old chain? What are you doing? I think it's called wig, something like that. I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, it just makes me want to punch a wall. But now, if someone had, if they had a chain and it said DOF, degrees of freedom, well, now we just changed the whole feeling. We just changed the whole mood about it. And that's, I'd like to see that out there. I'd like to witness that. So now what I'm talking about is how to achieve human-like gait for a humanoid robot. And in order to do that, you're going to need degrees of freedom. Now, we're talking clone robotics, proto-clone. That robot I talked about last week, I'll pop it up here if you didn't see that episode. But I'm talking about clone robotics, proto-clone. It's a robot that is suspended from the ceiling, and it looks like it's straight out the Bodies exhibit. Yeah, it's a thing straight out the Bodies exhibit that's suspended from the ceiling, and it has these myofibers. It looks like you peeled the skin off of a human being, and that's what you got. Hey, it's suspended hanging off of that ceiling. Now that has, I believe it's 200 degrees of freedom, or 203. And XPENG iron has 200 degrees of freedom. It's smooth. High DOF, degrees of freedom. This allows for finer control over each step, enabling smooth transitions between movement, such as the swing and stance phases of walking. XPENG iron is noted to have over 60 joints and 200 degrees of freedom. So 60 joints. I mean, wow. Whoa. Now, another thing you're going to need in order to achieve the human gait level, you're going to need degrees of freedom as well as control algorithms. They've got to be advanced. You have to have advanced control algorithms, and they must be able to predict and adjust for balance in real time, minimizing abrupt corrections. All right, a part of this too, we're talking, you're also going to need, so in your humanoid, you're trying to get human level smooth gait. So now you're going to need your degrees of freedom. You're going to need your advanced algorithms, your advanced control algorithms, and then you're also going to need a feedback system, sensors, gyroscopes, force sensors. You need those to provide real-time feedback on the robot's balance, orientation, and interaction with the ground. Now, harmonic reducers, also, this is going to help to achieve the smooth human gait in your humanoid robot. Harmonic reducers allow for very fine control over joint angles, which is crucial for smooth transitions during walking. For example, when a robot lifts its legs, the knee and hip joints need to move in a coordinated, gradual manner to avoid jerky steps. So there's a lot more that goes into achieving human level gait in a humanoid robotic. And humans, we're lucky. We got all that stuff built right into us. And just don't take it for granted. When you start building a robot, a humanoid, even just a hand, man, you start realizing how incredible the human body really is. You gain this incredible, deep, profound appreciation for the human body engineering and mechanics. And I just really like thinking about that. It really humbles our arses. You know what I'm saying? Robotics humbles our arses. Aces, your peach. It humbles your peach. I think on that note, I'm going to sign off. I had a really great time with you guys today. Hey, I hope you have a really good week. And I'll leave you with this. May your AI be friendly and your robots well-oiled. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you next time.